And I'm RJ Bell. You know how we do it every week, 5 games. We start with our best, and he gets honors always, well, until I win my 3rd super contest. Steve Fezzik.
All right, 5-weight. We're going to go Minnesota Vikings -3 at the Bears. We talked about this on the Monday pod, the recap pod. And if you wanted to fade the Bears, you probably shouldn't have done it when they were catching 6 against Green Bay. Now the Bears are only catching 3 against a pretty comparable team. In fact, RJ, I got Minnesota better than Green Bay in my power ratings. How about you?
I think Green Bay's underperformed a little bit to their stats, meaning I think they're a little better than their results. Many probably a little worse. So I would say I don't object to what you're saying, but I have them pretty comparable.
And I'm good with that. So even if we say they're comparable, that's an enormous adjustment here that the Bears play a good game, which they could have won. And, you talked about how Green Bay put up a lot of yards and it only resulted in 20 points. So now that the Bears basically, they're going to have to be very competitive, if not win the game to cover, because the line's only 3. And the Vikings, I know Darnold hasn't been playing and they haven't been playing tough opponents, but they've had some misleading scores. They really should have won by margin 2 weeks ago. And somehow they didn't with all the turnovers. In a comparable type of game, I think the Vikings, as long as they don't turn it over, are going to grind out a 6-point win. Give me Minnesota.
So when you say Darnold hasn't been playing, you mean hasn't been playing well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They specifically the 5. I forgot how many times he turned the ball over 2 weeks ago, but he was terrible in the red zone in that game that the Vikings won by 5 2 weeks ago.
So I've got a 2-weight.
And I've got a 4-weight.
Oh, okay. So go ahead. You go first, Scott.
Yeah, so my 4-weight's Minnesota. I mean, I'm still not a believer in Caleb Williams. He did look better last week, though, RJ, and you brought this up, that under their new offensive coordinator, Thomas Brown, he's getting rid of the ball a lot quicker. So last week, he averaged 2.42 seconds time to throw. That's the fastest that he's done all season long.
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams, yes. Thank you, Mackenzie. If you look, though, on the season, his stats, when he throws in under 2.5 seconds, he's great. 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions with a plus 11.6 EPA. When he holds the ball longer than 2.5 seconds, 0 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and minus 82 EPA. So right away you would think, okay, this makes a lot of sense. We're just going to have him get rid of the ball quicker. But that plays into the strength of the Minnesota Vikings defense. When the Vikings face a quarterback that releases the ball under 2.5 seconds, they allow the lowest EPA in the league, minus 18.1, with a league high 8 interceptions. So if the Bears want to keep with this new Caleb Williams, they're going right into the strength of the Minnesota Vikings defense, the second highest pressure percentage, highest blitz percentage, highest sack percentage of in the NFL. But if they revert back to the old Caleb of him holding the ball too long because they don't want to play into the Vikings' defensive strength, well, then you got to worry about sacks, and he's been sacked more than any quarterback in the NFL.
Now, I got to say, that's one of the better stats I've heard in a while.
Thank you. I did a lot of next-gen stats this week.
Yeah, I think so, because that's pretty good. Because my thought would have been Minnesota, who is feast or famine when it comes to blitzing, where they either bring everyone or a lot, or they drop a lot, right? They do that, the extremes more than anyone. My thought would be, okay, if they blitz and the quarterback gets rid of the ball fast, that's good for the quarterback. I mean, apparently not. So,
yeah, no. So I think it makes sense. Like, it plays into the hand, like you're saying. Like, they send everybody, and the quarterback's got to get rid of the ball so quickly to avoid a sack. And what that's resulting in this year is a league high 8 interceptions and a minus 18.1 EPA for those offenses.
And I do think Green Bay last week against Chicago was caught off guard with the major change in how quick they were getting the ball out, Chicago. And now the thought is, okay, Minnesota, very good coaching staff, has a week to see, hey, this was new. It worked against Green Bay. I think there's going to be a kind of a response to it that could be positive. Now, does Chicago have another response? I don't know. What I do know is my pick is a little different. It's going to be on Mini in the first half, and that's a 2-weight. What's my best number out there?
2.5.
Scott,
Yeah. It might,
look around a little bit.
yeah, there might be a 2, but I'm seeing 2.5s.
We got -1.5 at Circa, major book.
And what's and it's a normal lay price?
Yes.
110? Okay, yeah. So
Then
we'll
go with that.
How's this?
1.5. Let's go.
I'll go 2 just to split the difference,
Okay.
just to be generous. Now, real quick, why first half? Well, this is pretty rare. So if you think about it, if you compare first half to second half with these teams, you have offense and defense, then offense and defense. So 4 sides of the ball for the 2 teams. In every one of them, Minnesota, or in there are 2, Minnesota is better in the first half. And in every one of them, Chicago is better in the second half. So I could give you the numbers, and some, Minnesota's defense second in the first half, 10th in the second half. And the extreme on the other side actually is both. Chicago's 13-4, right, on defense, and 26-16 on offense. So really just across the board, better for the first half for Minnesota. So we'll keep Minnesota -2 first half as my 2-weight.
Love it.